Hello, Dojo Nation. Randy Reed here. Hey, today we're going to talk about some staffing tips. We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about some events coming up, and I've got a world-class tip of the week for you. Stay tuned. All right, gang, let's get started. So first off, this has been known as coffee and a tip with a karate guy. So I'm doing this a little later in the day. I'm also in my new house in the backyard back here. And so instead of coffee today, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to move it up in the world here a little bit. Today it's going to be beer and a cigar with a karate guy. All right. First, let's talk about staffing. What's the most important job of your staff? First off, to make a connection with your students. That connection is what's going to create a habit of them coming to karate class. Now, that's a little hard to do in the middle of a pandemic, right? So if the kids are not coming into the classroom or we have a limited number of them, how are we going to make that connection? Well, there's several ways. First off, the simplest way is a simple phone call. I think every month, every student has to be personally contacted by an instructor from the school, at least during this period through this pandemic. If we can't, even better is a private or semi-private lesson on a Zoom call or whatever you're doing online. That's going to keep that connection going. That's going to keep the student interested in going towards the goal that they should have set, which should be becoming a black belt. Hopefully, we are constantly reminding them that that's what their goal is. You know, I just have an internal belief that every kid should go through a martial arts course and get a black belt. It's something that's going to improve the rest of their life. I got a dog getting sick over here behind me. Maddie, cool it. Trying to make a video. I do. I really believe that martial arts is one of those things that's a necessity. It's not something that should be taken lightly. So the second part of the connection is with the parents or who's ever paying for the karate martial arts lessons for that student. My suggestion is we make sure we call every single guardian every month. And how should that conversation go? Initially, your thought process would be, it would be something along the lines of, here's why your child needs to keep training. Here's why they don't want to quit. My suggestion is we turn that question around. Mrs. Jones, why do you think your child should not quit training? Why do you think these martial arts classes are important? And you better be hearing something along the lines of, we really like the values that are taught at the school. They're either teaching the kid values or supporting the ones that they're learning at home. They want to think about, are they getting the leadership skills that they should be getting in their martial arts class? No parent doesn't want their child to be a leader. Remember, there's leaders, followers, and loners. We want to make sure that the kids are learning self-defense, of course. I look at self-defense like learning to swim. I don't need the child to be able to swim across the ocean, but if they fall off the pier, fall off the boat, they need to be able to swim enough to protect themselves. Same thing with self-defense. They're not necessarily going to be a competitor, a high-level martial arts competitor, practitioner, but they need to be able to protect themselves and get safely out of a situation if that comes up. I feel very strongly about that. Also, what about the exercise aspect of it? These kids are not running around in school like they were before. They're not some of them aren't in the martial arts school like they were before. So we need to get these kids moving through the online classes, or if you're able to offer classes in school, we've got to remind those parents, these kids are in their growth mode. They need to be exercising. It's extremely important. And last, but certainly not least, it's got to be fun. These kids have to enjoy what they're doing. My camera just fell on me here for a second. And last, but certainly not least, it's got to be fun. The kids have to enjoy what they're doing, or the child's just not going to continue. So as we are making this connection, we've got to go over not why they should take martial arts, why they shouldn't quit something that they've started and something they've made a commitment to. So let's make sure that we're on top of that during this bit of fun. So it's real important that these parents get these communications, that you do them well, that the parent understands that the child has made a commitment and that they're going to see that commitment through, because there's some real positive benefits from doing that, right? And on that note, I don't know if we have to do that for the next month, next 2 months, next 3 months, next 6 months. But whatever it is, that's going to be the best stopgap, because I'm seeing this in all the schools I work with, to keep people still making their commitment to martial arts, making their monthly tuition payments, and riding this thing out. Because eventually this thing's going to be behind us. It may be 3 months, it may be 6 months. Hopefully it's not much longer than that. By Christmas, we should be in pretty good shape. Once we're past this thing, we should have a new set of skills. We should be even better at what we do. Some of the people who weren't doing a good job may not be in business anymore, and it's going to be full steam ahead for everybody else. Okay, let's talk about you. So we've had, what, 4 months, 5 months now of this pandemic where we've had a lot of downtime. What have you done to improve your skill set over this period of time? I know a lot of you have become much better at using video, broadcasting through Facebook Live, learning about Zoom, learning about lighting, learning about sound, learning about laying out a class for being online. Hopefully you've developed some skills. What other skills can you learn during this time? What would happen if you put 100 hours into a new skill? What if you put 1,000 hours in? You could learn a new language. You can learn different ways to market your school online. I've spent a gazillion hours since late last fall really working on some marketing stuff for martial arts schools. I put in at least way more than 1,000 hours. But we've had this time, and we still have some time to get in and develop new skills, because we know it's proven to us we're going to have to develop some new skills as we're going forward here, and it's the ones who build the new skills that are going to be successful going forward. All right, next. I'm liking this beer and a cigar with a karate guy as opposed to the coffee. I mean, coffee's nice and all, but this is better. People have asked me about Cause Talks in 2021 in February in Cozumel, Mexico. There's been some people that have had to cancel some events. No matter what happens, at the very least, me and Dwayne Spires will be sitting at a picnic table holding Cause Talks. We're not going to cancel it no matter what happens. Dwayne, if you don't know Dwayne, he runs the mass system of summer camps and after school, and functions as our really, really good MC each year. And on that note, a bunch of my friends are members of Dwayne's organization. Boy, are they, there's people that are opening schools in the middle of this pandemic in Dwayne's group. That's saying something. All right, next quick thing. I don't know if you know a gentleman named Leon Rogers. I think he was vice president over at Century. He did a tremendous job there of building their group and interacting with the martial arts community, and really helping us a lot, being the liaison between it. Just a really, really good man. I had a chance to go tour Century and spend some time with him. He's now retired, and he has a new Facebook group. It's not a martial arts group as much as it's a group for positive people in a positive way. I think it's called A Positive Thought Every Day. It'll be down underneath here. Why don't you go to that URL on the Facebook and join it? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not as much a business thing as a community, and man, he's the guy to lead it. I highly recommend you jump on that. I was one of the first ones on there, and I'm telling all my friends about it, and you. Next up, what we're going to have is our tip of the week. I've been working a lot online with a lot of really good people who do stuff with computers and online things. So I'm going to share a tip each week with you, something I found helps me a lot. And being a kind of a newbie in this online world, these little things have made a big difference over the last few years for me. So I think you're really going to like the one we have for you this week. Here it is, your tip of the week. All right, Dojo Nation, here's your tip of the week. You know how all the fancy guys have dual monitors in their offices, and you've always wished you had one, and they're a pain in the butt to set up. You got to pay extra for the monitor. I got the Randy Reed Dojo Nation tip of the week. Let's do this for free. So there's a Chrome extension called a Duelist. If you can see it right here, you can Google it. It'll pop right up. You download Duelist. Now, let's say I wanted to learn about Gmail from this guy. It's called Dono Tech, real sharp guy. I wanted to listen to him, and while I was getting instructions from him, I wanted to work on my Gmail on another monitor, on another screen, so I could go back and forth. But I don't have two screens, and I'm not going to waste my money on two screens. So I download Duelist. If you look up here, you see these two little dots, or two little screens. We click on those. It asks me what the dimensions I want of each screen. I'm going to go 50-50. I click on that, and boom, I've got two different screens that I can work now. So as I'm listening to Steve,
pretty darn good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah,
Today
Steve,
we're
you're
going to
welcome.
talk about.
Then I can go over here and work on my Gmail or whatever it is I'm doing. I can go back and forth. If I want to jump on one screen for most of the time, great. Then I go back. I can bring up the other big screen, and I can go back. So as I'm, when you're old like me and spend a lifetime getting kicked in the head, you need things kind of close together so you can learn how they work and get walked through the thing step by step. So this will save you a couple $100 on a monitor. Tip of the week, Randy Reed for Dojo Nation. Hope you're enjoying your day, folks. Hey, folks, one quick thing. If you do me a favor and a little support, down below is a subscribe button, and then there's a little bell you can click. If you would hit that so we can kind of build that, and it makes I know who I'm dealing with here and what I can help you guys with. If you want to leave a comment down there on anything you'd like me to cover that I can help you with, I'll be glad to. So that will do it for today. Randy Reed, Dojo Nation, over and out. Have a great week.